Let me tell you something that the media isn't saying. China is collapsing right now, and it's way worse than you could possibly think. Their economy, it's falling apart. Their real estate market, completely imploding. And I'm talking 60 million homes that are completely empty. Whole cities built for no one. Families spent their entire life savings on apartments that were never finished. No water, no power, just concrete shells. And what's wild is they're actually living in them because there's nowhere else to go. And then what about the banks? Well, they're freezing withdrawals. People are going to get their money and it's gone. There's nothing to find. Factory workers haven't been paid in months. The job market is terrible where these college grads are flooding the market and not finding anything. People are boycotting their mortgage payments and protesting in the streets. You have the CCP. They're not doing anything about it. They're doing what they always do, deleting videos, arresting citizens, and silencing dissent. And you remember Evergrande? You remember that? That was just the beginning. The truth is the entire real estate sector was basically one big Ponzi scheme over there where developers were selling homes before even building them, then taking the money to buy even more land. All the while the government looked the other way because they were the ones that were making money off it too. Now it's all falling apart. And here's the scary thing of it all. In China, most families don't even own stocks or businesses. Their home is their life savings. So when housing prices collapse, everything around it collapses. No backup, no safety net. People are angry. They're pissed, and maybe rightfully so. And when people have nothing left to lose, they fight back. And that's what we're seeing now. But the world's not paying attention. The media is not covering it. The CCP is running out of time. And if the pressure keeps building, I don't know how this is going to end, but history has told us it gets a little ugly. If you want to keep up to date on the news, hit that follow button.
Where's the most poor people live at? Today I'm going to show you guys some poor places in third tier places in China. First stage, I'm going to try to show you guys some rooms and some environments outside. It looks very nice and very peaceful, isn't it? After this, I'm going to show you guys what does it really look like.
Vintage green wood door.
This room is only cost $30 per month. It's very small, but they got everything. Some poor families that live here, even though they have 4 people, they have 2 beds here and they have a small washroom and kitchen. Of course, before you rent it, the landlord is going to try to refresh for you. It would look much more nicer. Even though this is a poor area, still very safe and clean. And it's very convenient for people to live here because when you walk like 5 minutes down, you can see there is a shopping street. The only inconvenient thing is when we walk, because the street is too small, we're going to be stuck there. We got everything there. I guess this is a very important reason China don't have any homeless because everything is affordable. What do you think about it?
Hey, what's up, America? We're getting some breaking news that China's economy is starting to collapse from the tariffs. There's lots of videos and footage being put out there of the manufacturing in China absolutely just crippled. And ship after ship, and I'm talking thousands of ships, have been sent back to China from the United States that are just sitting there with shit on it. So I want to show you a little bit of what I found out, and it looks like China's economy is in absolute free fall despite what they're telling people. So we're starting to get images like this of warehouses that are stocked up on things because there's no buyers whatsoever. The markets are basically looking like this now, and there's reports of up to 1/4 of people that were investors have gone bankrupt in some major cities. We're also getting images of textile markets that are basically ground to a halt like this one. This is a furniture factory that is in Guangzhou, China. It was basically closed without warning, with shit still left in there while people were working. They just closed up shop and left the goods because there's no buyers. American products are not coming and we're not buying Chinese products, so they're sitting here and they're going to rot. So warehouses are starting to pile up with goods like this because there's no American buyers, and we're seeing this all over the place. Even major manufacturers of giant products that the United States has been buying for years are starting to close up. Several Chinese workers have reported you go to work one day and everything's fine, then you come to work a couple of days later and the factory's simply abandoned or close to being just abandoned. They're saying it's hard to believe how such large manufacturing firms can fold overnight. We're getting images like this of returned heavy equipment and returned machinery coming off of the container ships back to the factories. The container ships were sent back to China. Factories like this are starting to close up overnight from what we're hearing. We're also getting reports that people are starting to sell their luxury goods in preparation for this. We're also seeing China dump surplus steel, and they're facing a global blockade, and some people are saying that exports could fall completely. We're also starting to get video like this, which is showing, this is Shanghai's airport, and it's showing it completely devoid or nearly devoid of passengers now. Here's another still image from a video that I'm showing you, and it's another empty terminal. They said last month in China, it was bustling with thousands of people, and now they don't know where everybody went. I mean, you can see these airports in China are starting to turn into liminal spaces. And here's another one. They're also saying housing prices are starting to collapse over there. I wish that would happen here. So from what we can tell, China's starting to feel the effects of the tariffs on them very quickly. We're getting reports of factories closing, travel is starting to get a little bit less and less, and a lot of people are starting to lose their jobs. On top of that, a whole bunch of shipping containers from ships have been sent back to China, and all the shit is just sitting there, probably rotting. But despite what the CCP is saying, it's starting to look pretty bleak. Not for us, though.
Let me get you a tour of ghetto in China. This town is located in Chengyang, Qingdao. Name's Wangjianugu. You can tell all the buildings are simple and crude. Sewages float everywhere. The majority local population are migrant workers and native peasants, all proletariats with nobody's residence. Some buildings have become ruins for long term in disrepair.
And it's all happening while China's economy is falling apart. Tariffs are choking exports. American buyers are pulling out. And the factories built for that trade are shutting down one after another. For a regime that's built on control, this is a nightmare. Xi Jinping is backed into a corner with no good options left. And when a regime like the CCP starts to feel that grip slipping, even just a little, it lashes out. This is when you see its real face. This is how things like the Tiananmen Square massacre happen. Remember 2019? Trump hit China with $200 billion worth of tariffs, and then months later, the world was dealing with a deadly virus that came straight out of Wuhan? Yeah, the CCP never apologized for any of that. Instead, they just moved on like nothing happened. And now it's happening again. Tariffs are still crushing Chinese exports, some marked up by 145%, even 245%. China's once booming supply chains are breaking down. And instead of adjusting or fixing the problem, Beijing's response has been pride and silence.
A video uploaded by a worker in Shanghai has recently caused a stir. In the video, he says, the latest way to die in 2025 is by coming to Shanghai to work. They mention that businesses are closing one after another, with owners running away. Even if you can find a job, it's said that money earned in Shanghai is spent in Shanghai. Don't even think about taking any of it home. A commenter said, honestly, many stores in Shanghai have closed. The restaurant I often eat at shut down, and there are a lot of shops for rent. This year, the most noticeable change is that many people didn't return after spending the new year in their hometowns. Another worker shared, I left Shanghai this year and moved to Jiashan. The cost of living is about the same. It's mainly rent. Rent in Shanghai is too expensive, and the housing isn't great. A local Shanghainese said they just had a meal with a friend and noticed things are really looking bad.
今天晚上一个朋友来了，我们晚上大概8点多一起去吃饭的。
Today, a friend came over, and we went to dinner at a restaurant that's been open for 10 years. Tonight, there were only 2 tables. It felt odd. We spent around 180 yuan, and the other table spent around 120 yuan. So for the whole night, the restaurant made only around 300 yuan. When we left around 10 p.m., there were no other customers. The owner's wife talked to me a lot. She said that there are no more locals in Shanghai, and it's really hard to keep the business running.
They have a large space, and the monthly rent is 40 to 50,000 yuan. With 4 or 5 workers, the total expenses, including rent and wages, are around 60 to 70,000 yuan a month. She told me that in the past, they could easily make 200,000 or 300,000 yuan each month. I remember when we went to eat around 1 or 2 a.m., the place was packed. So in the last 2 years, the economy has really gone downhill. It's obvious that Shanghai no longer has that attraction. A commenter replied, I'm in Wuhan, and on the main freight route, the number of trucks has dropped by over 40%. Freight transport is a key economic indicator for any city. A drop means there's no demand in the market, and the economy is stagnant. Another commenter added, the cost of living in Shanghai is too high. The wealthy have left, and we can't expect workers to lead consumption.
You see a lot of people online saying China is amazing, and yeah, it's got a shiny city, clean street, and crazy good infrastructure. But you also hear people trashing it, and honestly, both sides are right. Here's the thing: tens of thousands leave China every single day, and millions every year. And where do they go? The United is ranked number 1. And Australia is a second, is a close second. So why so many people they bouncing, they're leaving? Stay tuned. I will break it down in my next video. I will give you a real story. Hit follow, and let's talk about the China you don't see on the news, because I have go abroad and witness a lot of Chinese rushing out from China. They came from different background, and they poor or rich or in legendary debts, and you can imagine how crazy right now. So many Chinese are fleeing away.
Yes, the unemployment crisis is real here. However, if you're out of your tech job, you can still get a reasonable job at something like 5,000 yuan per month, which is livable because things are so much cheaper here compared to the US and Canada, and usually better too.